That was a nice presentation. I say, by the way, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. That was quite the story. But the problem is nothing in that story tells you what evidence they have, what evidence they're going to show. You know, how are they going to actually tie me into that story? Anyway, you know, the prosecution, you know, tells that story, but the problem is very little of that story is true. That's the bottom line. And, you know, yes, about the only thing that was true in that story is, yes, John Travis Johnson was there. That's a fact, right? This state witness, you know, they keep on saying he's the getaway driver, right? Out of all the evidence...
Object argumentative.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain the objection. Again, this is an opportunity to talk about what the evidence you expect will show.
Oh, but that's where I'm going, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just give me a second, I'll get right there. I was actually just getting to that point. Out of all the evidence they show, all the witnesses they bring, where are they going to show he's the getaway driver? That's what you need to look at, right? Because the defense, you know, we can show all day there is no evidence saying he was a getaway driver. We can also show that there's evidence that says otherwise. And that's what we do intend to prove. As far as the, you know, the evidence we intend to put on, we're going to, you know, put on the surviving victim, Miss Paula Belmonte, who says, 100% sure it wasn't me that night. 100%. Now, just as Mr. Alvarez said, you know, this is a woman who was brutally beaten, robbed, had her throat slit, you know, literally sat there and watched her friend get murdered viciously. But yet she is testifying on my side. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, what motivation could she have? Anyway, going down the line here, we're also intent on going ahead and, you know, calling a few other witnesses here. The next one after that is probably going to be Mrs. Angela Oslowski. Again, talking about evidence, right? Well, this is the woman who did the FDLE reports, the forensic evidence that, you know, that they submitted, right? All the evidence comes back. None of my DNA, none of my, my blood, none of my fingerprints, none of that stuff. Okay? So, no forensic evidence, right? Okay? Surviving victim says it wasn't me. Okay, so we'll go on down from there. The next one, Mr. Tom Walker from Internal Affairs, right? Now, Mr. Tom Walker goes ahead and investigates the investigation because of a complaint I made, right? A complaint that comes back sustained, right? Comes back as sustained for an investigation that was so poor, so poorly executed. 208 pieces of evidence were found to be mishandled by the MCSO, including DNA, including physical evidence, including video. 208 pieces of evidence. Now, he also goes ahead and goes beyond that. He goes on to show that, you know, that the original affidavit that was used to arrest me, the one that actually, you know, everybody relies on as far as what the police say happened, right? He goes ahead and investigates that. Unfortunately, guess what? That's not accurate either, according to him. That he actually goes ahead and investigates this and finds out that the original affidavit that was used to indict me, used to give me these charges and put me in front of you people, right? Not that I don't like you, but...
Objection, argumentative, again, Your
Well, I'll overrule that objection.
No, but yes, you know, it put me here. And so he'll go ahead and show that that isn't exactly accurate. That it's filled with inaccuracies. It also has what they call material omissions. You know, stuff that would be an exculpatory evidence to suggest that I wasn't there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and interview Mr. Tom Walker. We'll go ahead and put him on the stand. Then after that, we have Lieutenant Colonel Chad Scabilia. Right? He's actually one of the higher-ups in the MCSO. I don't know how familiar the jury is with that, right? I know we all know Rick Ramsey, you know, but do we know Mr. Scabilia? Probably not. But he is one of the higher-ups in the MCSO. He's in charge of their operations. He decides as of January of 2019, he's going to go ahead and do an investigation of the entire major crimes unit, right? He's afraid that they're not living up to par. That's a good supervisor.
Object and ask for sidebar. Okay.
I can go down the outside, yes.
First of all, I don't believe any of this is going to be coming in. It's not going to be relevant to this investigation or this presentation. And so what he's doing is opening the door to this salacious information.
One second, I'm going to wait till the state settles in. I'm also going to advise the jury that I have overruled the objection, but I do want to remind you that this is opening statement. It's not evidence in the case, and it may or may not reflect what ultimately is evidence, and it will be up to you to decide the case based on the evidence. So keep that in mind, that this, what I told you, the statements of the attorneys, is not evidence. So with that, let the defendant proceed with his opening.
Thanks. I'd also like to apologize for my tone. Obviously, I'm a little upset. You might understand. I don't know if you do, but you might understand. Anyway, continuing forward, back to Lieutenant Colonel Scabilia. His report, he goes ahead and he finds that there are a number of investigations in the Major Crimes Unit that have not been sufficiently investigated, according to him. One of them, well, not one of them, out of the many that he finds, and Miss Danielle Malone, who we intend on putting on the stand, and to go ahead with this investigation. Yes, she's found to have, out of 17 active cases, 11 of them come up as insufficient, which we would argue mine is one of those. So we, we have quite a bit of evidence. We have quite a bit of evidence. I know that Mr. Mansfield asked you if you could convict me on one piece of evidence. Maybe. That's true. I could see that, depending on what the evidence is. You got a video of me doing something, or, I could see that. But what he failed to say is, okay, could you convict me on one piece of evidence when there's a lot of evidence that says something else? That's the question. And that's what we're going to try and get to with the defense, right? We're going to bring up witnesses, we're going to bring up evidence, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to challenge everything that the state is saying here, because I know it's not true. So, in the end, that's what we're looking for here, right? We're looking for the truth. And they can present their case, I'll present mine, and we'll see what comes out as true. And then you guys can decide. And I know from looking at all of you and from going through our voir dire, you'll decide correctly.